Happy Friday, everybody.
Howdy.
What's up?
All right, so we got the usual crew here, and then we've got our buddy Duke Ralston, and we'll talk to him about what he's got going on and what we're going to do with him. We got some cool stuff going on. I do want to let everybody know at the beginning of this that the Fallen Leaves 2 digitals are going out, and we have 7,000 books coming in a freight order in the next 2 weeks. Just so everybody's aware, there's a ton of books going out.
Wow. You poor bastard.
Ton of books, man. It's only me that packs all that shit too. So I'm
Army
here, yeah, all by myself in here.
Busy man.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, you won't see me very often for the next when it happens for about 2.5 weeks, but it'll you guys will get timed updates from me and stuff like that because I'll get on in the morning and I'll throw a bunch of them together. But anyway, so speaking of Fallen Leaves, Gabriel Riarte does all the interiors for that book, and it is a serious undertaking to put that book together. It took a little bit longer than we had anticipated, but his artwork speaks for itself, and it's finished and it's beautiful. It's already been lettered. It's already in the queue to print. So we're very, very pumped about that. Like I said, the digitals are going to go out tomorrow. Now, we talked to Gabriel. We talked to Devin. We've talked to several members of our team about streamlining how we're going to do releases this year. And what I did was I took $13,000 of ours and put that toward the business. For those of you that know me, know I've done that a couple times. I've gone in and dropped chunks, and that's just because I believe in this business and I believe in taking care of it. So a bunch of these books are getting done the way we used to do books. We used to do books; we'd have them finished before they went to Kickstarter, and that's going to start becoming the norm again.
Okay.
But that has to be built up. It doesn't just happen off the whim. But
Hence
that
the chunk.
yeah, the chunk is a big deal. That being said, Gabriel is already working on Fallen Leaves issue 3.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's beautiful. It's really, really pretty book. I mentioned Devin earlier in Theater 7. Just so you guys know, we do have an official cosplayer now for Theater 7 and Penny, which is Jessa, and we absolutely love Jessa. She's so sweet.
She looks just like oh my god, she really does.
So ridiculous.
It's amazing. It's awesome.
I could not believe it. I didn't know that she was like so amazing. Like she had such an amazing career. I had no clue. I just saw her and I was like, that's Penny. That's fucking batshit crazy. But I spoke to Devin, and he's got a very full schedule with Cave Woman, and the Cave Woman releases. But just so you guys are aware, he's already started working on issue 3.
Oh yeah!
I love this page.
Just put that page aside for me.
Yeah, we all laughed so hard.
Nate is once again just earmark.
Yeah. We all had such a fun time with that page. There's a lot going on, and like we mentioned, the Morgana stuff. We were talking about that. That campaign is doing exceptionally well. It's over 12,000 now. 300 and something backers. Absolutely love seeing it. But the pages are gorgeous, guys. If you've not looked at this, they're absolutely stunning.
That's stunning.
Oh yeah.
So
holy crap, the detail.
Yeah, well, we always put our money where our mouth is. You know what I mean? So you always get definitely worth product that you're waiting to get. So I absolutely love it. Now, a lot of people are asking about My Metal Girl. My Metal Girl is done. It's been done for a little bit. It's in the queue print. So it'll be, I don't know, I'm going to say a month and a half, and we'll start seeing My Metal Girl.
Okay.
Less than that, and you'll start seeing Theater 7 issue 2.
Yay!
So there's
so
many books coming. So my God, there's so many books coming. But Zai is already working on My Metal Girl issue 2.
Cool.
And it is super fun. We're having a really, really good time with it. And we've got a couple other things in the pot right now that we're moving around. Bladen is done with his part of If It Hops. David Ocampo is coloring that right now. He did jump off of that for a little bit and start working on some other things that we needed to get caught up, like Fallen Leaves. As soon as Gabriel was done, I asked David to jump on Fallen Leaves and finish it. You know what I mean? So there's always a method to my madness. But Bladen told me to show you guys these amazing pages that he's been doing. And I'm absolutely thrilled with them as well. They look great. They always do.
His work is always exceptional. Come on, I mean, it's just
there's no arguing there. And then something very special that we've been talking about for a while now is the Red Label. The Red Label has been something that we've teased about, we've talked about, we've hem and hawed about a little bit. But there are, and we've done the beautiful art books. April's amazing art books go out through the Red Label. Yep. We have started 2 ongoing books right now for the Red Label. That is Crimson. Oh, well, that's not. That's that's from the Halloween book. I'll show you that. That's fair. Brian is killing his pages for the Halloween book. Yes. I know why that's there and not the other page, because the other page shows penetration. That's why it's not there.
Yeah.
Okay. So Crimson Sails will be the first book we put out ongoing for the Red Label, and it's going to be a blast. Like it was an absolute blast to work on. It's Kelsey.
Hey,
I love Kelsey. She's so sweet. She's awesome. Kelsey has her own ongoing series that'll be dropping for the Red Label later on this year as well. So we're very, very excited about that. And I know she's excited, and she'll get to show off her alter ego, Mischief, in that book. So it's going to be a ton of fun. But that being said, the Red Label is going to pop off real heavy this year. I would expect it around August, September is when I think you guys will probably start seeing that, which coincides with me talking about 3 issues a month. Okay. So the Red Label will be the 3rd issue for Ethereal Books a month that you guys start seeing. And we're super pumped. Like, we're super, super pumped about it. Now, we've talked about a few of the books, with My Metal Girl did really, really well. People have, especially the digitals that people have gotten, they've really, really enjoyed the books. So we decided to go more into that type of storytelling with another book that is tentatively titled Kaiju Disaster. And that'll be out on the Red Label as well. And you guys all know that includes fuckery in it. So
warned.
yeah, forewarned, man. Anything with the Red Label, you're gonna see some insertion.
Open at your own peril.
Yeah. Jump on that Red Label, dude.
There is no disclaimer.
Exactly.
Hey,
the Red Label is the disclaimer.
Color is enough, right? You go from the blue to the red, and it's just like,
danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Well, I mean, I don't want people get all kinds of nudity in the Blue Label, but I wanted them to be sure that they knew that this, the actual fuckery will commence in the Red Label. And that goes into other things that we're talking about. We may or may not be putting out an indie film shortly that is super, super Red Label, and we're excited about it. We've got some other, pans in the fire as well. But I wanted to show you this really cool character design for our character Aiko for the Kaiju book. And I just think she's adorable.
Oh,
she's just super, super fun. And she leads a team of chicks fighting giant monsters. So it should be a blast.
you know who she looks like, right?
Who's that?
Armitage.
See, I didn't watch that.
You've never seen Armored? Oh, you got homework now.
Homework now. Never. You know, it's funny. I've heard the name a million times. Never watched it.
I have too. I've never watched it, but I've heard it a million times.
Right. Well, that's
Homework.
that's like 90s, right?
Yeah.
Mid 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Juliette Lewis actually was the voiceover.
Oh, right on. Hell yeah. So we're moving into, you know, like I said, the last half of the Morgana campaign. The covers came out absolutely beautiful. Everybody worked their asses off like they always do.
Wow.
You know, they all worked really, really hard to bring out the best covers we could actually put out. So I'm thrilled with it. I know you guys are going to enjoy it. Yes, it's very
I like that one.
I like that one too.
Yep, there we go.
That's my winner chicken dinner right there. So.
right. But they all turned out absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
You know, and to show you a colored page, there's a colored page from that book. David Ocampo was coloring it, and it's just awesome. I mean, he's an incredibly talented guy. I've worked with him for like 4 fucking years now. It's crazy. Anyway, so let's talk to Mr. Ralston about what he does, and I will open the floor to the Frans, and that puts you right in the bullseye there, my friend. So the Frans are going to ask you all kinds of questions about what you got going on, and how's it going? Can't see who Facebook user is.
Joshua Main needs to go back over to StreamYard.
We like Josh.
So.
Josh's a good dude.
Yeah. Hi, Joshua.
Josh's a great guy. So what we're going to do is we're going to open the floor, and if you'll tell everybody what you do, we'll open it to Nate and Shawnee, and they'll be able to ask you questions and all that good jazz. And then we'll talk about what I have planned for all that.
What I do, I host a show called Tennessee Macabre. We're on Tingler Television every Thursday night, and we host classic horror movies. I appear as the Grim Reaper. I have a co-host named Ravinia, who is a witch. Then we have Professor Gilman that appears in some episodes. And we have Dead John. It's a dead guy that we just drag around the set.
I like it.
People love Dead John. So it's like a life-size Ken doll that we just pose. And we'll go to him in a different set. You know, we'll be shooting pool, and Dead John's over there with his sunglasses and a beer watching. You know, we just do fun stuff with Dead John.
Oh, I love it.
So it's kind of like an Elvira type of thing, like a spiritual successor, if you will.
That's exactly right. We were profoundly influenced by Elvira, Joe Bob Briggs, and some of the local horror hosting in the 70s in Chattanooga, which was what we watched. We had a guy named Dr. Shock and Dingbat, and that influenced us growing up. And so that's what we're doing.
Right on.
For a while, we even had Dingbat, who was Dr. Shock's sidekick. We hope to bring Dingbat back at some. Dingbat was a bat puppet.
I was assuming there was some sort of bat connection.
Yeah, I forget. I have to explain that. It's a bat puppet.
Dingbat.
See, I'm gonna have a blast with that.
Yeah.
Dingbat and Dead John. That's, you just can't go wrong with either of those.
Dingbat and Dead John. In the original show that ran in the 60s and 70s, I remember it in the late 70s, they showed one of the Blood Island films from the Philippines. Mm-hmm. And normally they pre-recorded everything on Thursday night. But the guy that played Dr. Shock was also the station manager. He had a commitment, and that happened a lot. And they just went live on Saturday night and shot from the hip. Well, they ran this show, and in the show, they chain these women up to a post, and they sacrifice them to this monster. And, of course, you cannot sacrifice a woman with the top on. So the chieftain comes up and rips the top off. And, this is like 1975, 6, 77, and this woman is screaming topless on a major network out of Chattanooga, and they do a hard cut. I mean, it's just hard.
Yeah.
And they come back, and Dingbat and Dr. Shock standing there, and Dingbat goes, "Well, Doc, what'd you think of that?" And he goes, "Well, Dingbat, I think we need to screen our movies better."
It reminds me of like Mystery Science Theater, right? Like where they're
Yes.
always having that, in dialogue back and forth during the movie, and it makes it fun. Right?
It makes it fun. It makes it fun. We do intercuts, and some of the movies we've done, we just showed one last night called Beware the Blob. And this movie was directed by Larry Hagman in 1973. Has an incredible cast, and it is a spoof of the original Blob, but it is also, it's not just a spoof. It's serious. It's got some serious sides and some scary stuff, but it is primarily a spoof. It's a fun movie. And so
Blob-esque.
I'm just wondering if the blob like burns off chicks' clothes, because if it does, I'm there. I just need to know ahead of time. I have to prepare myself.
if this movie had been shot in 78 instead of 73, I guarantee you it would have.
Getting blobbed would have resulted in nudity.
It would have
Right.
resulted
We were
in
just
unity.
talking about that.
Yeah.
We were literally just talking about that the other night because we are moving into other forms of media as a
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun getting to learn about other things, see other things, and we're bringing on other types of
Right.
talents, directors and writers and all kinds of amazing people, actresses that are just phenomenal,
Mhm.
and it's like, bringing back the old school horror movie is
Yeah.
what I want to do.
Yep.
Like, you see all these cool movies, right? Like, look at The Terrifier, right?
Mhm.
I still haven't seen it. Don't shoot me. I haven't
What's
seen
that? Oh, you are fired.
it. I haven't seen it. But I will say this: we got to
You
spend.
can't
a little
fire
bit
me.
of
Horror's
time-
not my genre. I haven't seen it either. So
Right.
You
We
don't
actually
count
got to
though.
spend some time
okay,
with him
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
a few weeks ago. He was in
Yeah.
a show. A small show we were at, so we got to spend a little bit of time talking about the genre of films and stuff like that. And I didn't know their budget was only like $30,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for a film that's making buku money now, it started out at $30,000.
That's impressive. Yeah.
It really is impressive. I mean, they're on their second sequel now. It's
About to have a
fairly,
third one come out.
Yeah, that's
too.
it's going to be the Christmas one or whatever coming out next. Yep.
Mhm.
So, it's really interesting to see what people are doing, and it's funny because I'm not in that realm, right? Like that's not my bag yet. So it's like yet. So I will add it to my repertoire, but right this second, it's still one of those things that's very new to me. It's very exciting, but I don't know my ass from my elbow.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
So when somebody goes, hey, they're making indie films for less than I'm putting in to create a book a month, I'm going, well, fuck, I can do that. You know what I mean? I can make that happen. It's just who you know. It's just like anything else.
Yeah.
When I got into comic books, if Mike DeBalfo and Bud Root hadn't encouraged me to do it, I'd have never done it. So it was like
Yay for them.
it's who you know, who's gonna encourage you.
It's all in marketing.
Yeah.
How
That's
you
it.
market that film. Yeah.
Right. So what my goal is I spoke to Jessa the other day actually about finding us a puppeteer. So I'm very excited to see where that goes and what we can do with. I'm a big Critters fan.
Yeah.
I'm also a big Ghoulies fan. I'm a really big Gremlins fan.
I
You
love
know,
Gremlins.
Man,
None
oh
of that
man.
surprises me.
None of it should surprise you by now. But my point is, all those films, and there's even more modern ones that I liked a lot, like Zombievers.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed the film. Its budget was shit, but I thoroughly enjoyed it because I really enjoy the old school practical effects. And I'm a big fan of stop motion animation to this day.
Yeah.
So I think that we could do something really, really fun. And if we're smart about it, we can play around this SAG-AFTRA thing that I'm learning about right now for other reasons. So, yes, I'm learning all about the SAG-AFTRAs.
Good luck.
Man,
There's a lot to learn.
yeah. Oh my gosh! But you know, once you get in, it's like a card carrying member thing. Once you're in, you're in. You know, and we have not pressed forward with one of the largest projects we've ever worked on just yet recently, because of the holidays, because of other things, because of snow, because we got stuck in a blizzard. There's been a lot of things that have slowed down a very large project of ours. But as soon as I get the opportunity and I can find an agent, we will be moving forward with several projects that we've hinted about and talked about a little bit. We just have to get this new agent, and we'll move forward. I'm really excited about it. Super, super excited. I'm also super excited about working with Mr. Ralston because there's he has contacts that we don't. And he mentioned a keyword just a minute ago, marketing. Ethereal has a great marketing team, you know, between Russ and Heather. We have a really good marketing team. Now, that's also our team itself. Our team itself will go and market for us, and I love that too. You know what I mean? That's not something we ask, but it's something we greatly appreciate, as well as the friends, the fans, the friends. Everybody markets Ethereal, and we love that, and we're very grateful. But Mr. Ralston brings in a whole different side of things that we have not worked in before or done. It's a different thing altogether. So my goal is for you guys to start seeing him more on a regular basis, and also being able to do interviews. I'm going to try to start getting actors and actresses on from horror films for him to interview.
Would love that.
I think that'll be a lot of fun. And we're going to make it a regular show. You guys know me. I don't have the brain power to do regular shows myself. We know this. I'm too busy. I too busy to wipe my ass half the time. All right. So my point is,
but you're smart enough to find the people who can do it for you.
Hey, we've all got skill sets. And one of mine is bringing together amazingly talented people. So my goal is to have him a show, just like he mentioned his own show. It would just be a offshoot of his very own show that he always does anyway. But it would be through the Ethereal brand, and we're going to bring it, like I said, we'll bring in people for him to interview. And that also means that Nate and Shawnee would be able to come on and interview them and talk to them as well. And I think that everybody would enjoy it. I think it would be a great thing to do. Again, marketing. It's just like real estate, location, you know, and the more that we can show the brand off, you know, and the more that we can get the name out there to folks, especially moving into, like I said, different medias, it'll be very, very helpful. I have already started all these endeavors behind the scenes. I have already begun working on all these different projects. And like I said, I will be taking a short siesta here in the next 3 weeks to ship an ass ton of books. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be so fun. And I'll take pictures as I do it, and like we normally do, and we'll go live once or twice in that 3-week period and update folks on what we're doing.
Dustin will henceforth for the next week be known as Fulfillment Bitch.
Yes,
exactly.
I do become a fulfillment bitch. That is exactly.
Let's say it again. We'll see you later.
Yeah. You know, that's what happens. I'll just let you guys run the shit because I'm just going to be sitting over here going, here's a number. There's a number. Print a label. Another label.
Ticka. Shoot.
Hey.
Label to the box.
We love Steve. Steve's a good dude. More red labels. Love that. We're working on all of the red label books, man. I'm very grateful and very proud of the red label books that we're putting out. You know, April's art books have been phenomenal. And it was a good segue. If you enjoy all the craziness that April puts out, and her beautiful artwork, especially the October books. You'll really enjoy.
Inktober's, yep.
Oh, I think we've got like, there's a dude like wearing this chick out like on the first page of Crimson Sales. So you guys are really gonna have a good time with it.
Oh darn!
Oh shit!
Shocker!
Right? There might be one or two of those coming down the pipe too. So just
Well, I think you're right. I think
tight.
April's art books were a perfect segue, because that was kind of, if you like that, yeah. So this is kind of what you're going to be, but in comic format. It's not just prints, but there'll be a story behind it. So
yes, absolutely.
gird your loins and be prepared.
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan of the human body, period. You know what I mean? I think Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And so as soon as I got the opportunity to realize that I could go further and people enjoyed the Blue Label, and people really dug the Blue Label and they're enjoying the stories, I realized I could write a story that people enjoyed. We're 4 years into it fucking now, so there's no turning back. But, it was like, as soon as I realized people enjoyed that, then it was like, well, we can jump into this Red Label water, and we might, sit around in it for a little bit until somebody pees in it, and then we'll move on. But I realized that the more that we showed, the more we talked about, the more interest it drew, and people were like, oh, well, shit, especially a Red Label book in the world of If It Hops, a Red Label book in the world of Babes, Gore, and Dinosaurs, I wanted people to be able to have the things they wanted. Like, I always tell the story about If It Hops in the very first few pages of If It Hops. The objective was to give you an amazing story, a very sensual story about a character that was just amazing. I love C. And so it was like, as we started putting it together, I knew that that's what people wanted, though. That's what you wanted to see when you started that book. You wanted to see the rabbit either nude or fucking. That's what you wanted to see. And I was okay with it. So we immediately give you that the first couple pages. Now you can focus on the story. Now you do get to see her plenty nude later, but I wanted you to have your mouth full as you went into the rest of the book. Now you're getting the meat of everything going on, and it's fun marketing. So going forward with the Red Label books, they're just as much fun, and they're so satisfying. They really, really are. When I took the concept to Dan Wickline, God bless him, guy just got out of the hospital. We love Dan to pieces. We're glad he's doing well and at home now.
I didn't realize. Yes, I'm glad he's better. So, he's home. So yeah.
Anyway, Dan, when I took the concept of Crimson Sales to him, I've started getting to this point where I write the beginning, the middle, and the end basically for stories. And then I have the other team members go in and fill in going forward. And Dan did a phenomenal job with the first issue of Crimson Sales. It was so much fun. It really, really was so much fun. The sword fighting, the naked chicks, the muskets, and all just kinds of really, really neat stuff. And that segues into all that we're doing on the side with the Red Label books. And that's bringing on professional cosplayers, professional actresses to be brand ambassadors. And we've talked about that before. So we have 3 new amazing team members that are going to have their own stuff going on. Now, Penny, God bless her. We all love our beautiful blonde Penny. She is going to have what we're calling the Penny Invasion going on this year. And Penny will be jumping into each book for a cover for the whole year. And it is not a drawn cover. It is a Jessa cover for each book going forward for the year. And it's going to be a ton of fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, cosplay covers all day. Nice. And I mentioned Sammy before we started live. Sammy is going to be our new Hatter. And she's so fun. She's so fun. A great person. That just, I felt like the personality fit, like easily fit. And, so we wish her well on her callback edition tonight for a movie that she's working toward. So that's going to be super cool. But I think that everybody is ready for the next level. Oh yeah, nice, Steph. It's good to see you too. Love that fucking cover, buddy.
Hi,
the heck?
Steph.
Love that cover.
He can say hi to Shawnee, but not me. Come on now, Steph.
Nice.
Mess. Straight mess.
There's a hey, Dustin. There you go.
Yeah.
Where's
Thanks.
the hey, Nate?
Much
Yes,
love.
he had to Nate. Ooh, Steph's in trouble.
All right, so we're gonna open the floor to Nate and Shawnee for any questions they may have this evening, and then we'll run it back.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a huge horror fan. Dustin knows that, and so does Shawnee. So, I mean, I've been doing horror since I was 3 years old. So that's probably not a good thing. It's probably a bad thing. Watching Nightmare on Elm Street as a young 3-year-old. But that kind of opened up my gateway, right, for everything. So I watch everything from the 50s to now, as far as horror goes, sci-fi, Lost from Space, you name it. I enjoy it. You were talking about Joe Bob Briggs. I've been watching that since way long time ago.
Since he started, yeah.
Yeah. Marcy, it's been on her forever. I've enjoyed it. But what I also like seeing is them bring back the old movies, right? That nobody really does anymore. Like, you go having The Blob, or you're having the Peter Cushing, and the Hammer horror, layers. Nobody really does that no more, which is what I like to see come back. There's nothing better than freaking Christopher Lee being Dracula fighting against Cushing, as Van Helsing,
It's the ultimate.
It is. And you see these pictures of them, like when they were, before they had passed on, like they were some of the best friends in the world. Right.
Yes.
And so I kind of dabbed my toes into that field as well. Right. So working with some of the people from Texas Chainsaw Massacre out here in Texas. So we had a good time when we set them up for Texas Frightmare out here a couple of years ago.
Right.
Some of the nicest people you'd ever meet in your life, and I mean, Ed O'Neill is a freaking hoot. He's crazy. He's just as crazy as he was when he was the hitchhiker in real life. But he's such a nice person too. So I'm glad to see you come on board and bring that kind of horror back to where we need it be, because here's the thing is there's a lot of shock horror now, which lasts for about 2 days and then it's gone. Right.
Yeah.
We were talking about Terrifier, right? And so, I've talked to Damien a couple of times, especially when it was All Hallows Evil first, the very first one that came out that wasn't even him. It was a different person playing the role of Art the Clown. And he said that was the stepping stone, right? There's a lot of movies that have a stepping stone movie today. And so there's a lot of fan films that are being made today. Dave McRae, for example, I don't know if you know him. He made It's Me, Billy, and it's the sequel to Black Christmas. And it actually has the same dude from Black Christmas, and it's professionally made. It's a professionally made movie, and it looks phenomenal. Same way with Don't Walk in the Snow, which is a Jason Voorhees fan film. There's been a lot of professional ones now that you can't even tell the difference between the fan version versus that, because even the writing's been good, and the story's been really good.
We live in an incredible time because, 10, 15 years ago, I couldn't do what I do because I would have had to have I'd had to have a studio. I'd have had to have a camera. I'd have had to have editors. The idea that you could make a movie in 1980, that an individual part was just outlandish because, people back then were still physically editing the tape together.
Correct.
Which is beyond what lay people can do. Now we can sit down with a couple computer programs and an HDL camera and we can shoot a professional looking movie. You can do everything. Go ahead.
No, I just agree. It's absolutely phenomenal. I had no clue when we started a project, I don't know, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, and it's been a super involved process. that I've been dealing with for this project. And it was something brand new to me, and moving into it was a lot of fun. It's been an amazing thing. To talk to some of the people we've spoken to, gotten involved with, the promise letters we've gotten all day from these amazing folks that want to work with us on this project. But it becomes one of those things where as we get more into it, the more we learn, right? Like I found out that we were looking at like $100,000 for 30 minutes, and it was like, I was like, holy fuck, you know what I mean? How do we even put that together? And then everybody's like, well, you don't pay for that, asshole. Somebody else pays for that, because they buy the rights from you to distribute. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, that's new. But when it comes to the movie that we were talking about doing, that's something that Ethereal will be funding in-house. And we're super stoked about it because we've got incredible folks that want to be part of it. And it's definitely going to be a Theater 7 production. So we're really, really pumped about that because we've already got a lead role handled. We don't have to look too far for that.
Yep.
So, but now there's directors, then there's, other people involved. There's locations. There's all kinds of fun stuff. Don't expect anything involving a DeLorean.
Oh, come on. Come on. Get a DeLorean.
Don't expect anything involving a DeLorean.
Probably smart, Dustin, to go ahead and just quash that right now.
Yeah,
expectations.
put that
Manage
out there.
expectations.
We are not going to be doing anything based on the first couple issues of Theater 7.
Yeah.
Just because the simple fact that I don't mind doing it. And I'm sure we could find a DeLorean. I've already been told that it wouldn't be difficult. But I just don't want the headache that would bring. So
that's a licensing nightmare is what that is.
It's not, though. It's really not. There are a lot of things that protect people in a lot of different ways. But that being aside, because of the fact we own Theater 7, we own the story, we own the ability to, anybody can get a goddamn DeLorean and do whatever they want with it. That's not I just don't want the headache of using somebody's fucking car that they want, X amount of dollars for, especially like that. Especially a really nice DeLorean. I don't want the issue. Elf I'd like to fuck. That'd be a good one, Steph. I'm still not using that name. I can't use that name. It feels so evil. I can't use that fucking name.
It sounds like a Red Label version of Fallen Leaves.
If you don't think I've already got something like that in the works, my friend, you don't know me very well.
Oh, wow.
He does. He just, that doesn't stop him from poke.
Exactly.
So I'll tell you what, and I'll tell everybody watching tonight, because I'm very excited. I'm in a great mood. There's a lot of good, positive energy going on. For every book in the Blue Label, there will be a flip side to it on the
subsequent. Okay.
Oh, I love that.
So, come on. I want a flip book now. Now you just said it, right? You went old school comic. Come on, do a flip book now.
No, you know what? Anytime that people do jackass things like that, they don't work. You know what I mean? It's like, the coolest thing I told you guys the other night I thought about doing was doing Theater 7 panties as a giveaway. And I don't know what the fuck happened. I think it just like fell off my radar.
You need to put it back on the radar then for the
Shawnee, who's calling me Dusty?
Jimmy Green.
Oh, fuck Jimmy Green.
I was gonna say Jimmy's we
love Jimmy. Jimmy, we've known Jimmy since I was probably 11 years old when I met Jimmy.
That's why he feels he can get away with
he can get away with it. Jimmy's good people. Him and his whole family are good people. But
keep it up, Jimmy. Keep it up.
Yeah, keep it up, Jimmy. Keep it up. Watch what happens. So there's I loved the idea of all the Blue Label books. I love all of them. I love working on all of them. And then I was like, going into the Red Label, I wanted to make sure that they were worlds that you all were familiar with.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I really wanted you to be able to vibe with what's going on. Like
I like the idea of having the blue label come out first because you
Yeah,
get into the
yeah.
story, you get the characters, then you can have the subsequent red label. I also like the fact that it's I may not look it. I do have a bit of a freaky streak, so
Yeah,
I have
I know.
the red label. I know you guys know, but
Yeah.
but I think it's cool because it may not be for everybody, but so you have both worlds.
Yes,
So people
absolutely.
can be introduced in the blue label, enjoy it, try the red label. If they like it, they can stay. Or if they go, no, that's really not my scene, go back to the blue label. And that's okay.
We appreciate it, Jimmy. You're gonna have to be an extra in my movie when I get it situated.
Yep. We'll find a way to have him die horribly.
Yeah. Jimmy's gonna be like that guy that walks into the horror movie and is like, I can kick all the monsters' asses.
It gets a machete upside the head.
Yeah, then it doesn't work.
Burning with the shears.
Yeah. I was actually thinking Hudson from Aliens, but
Mm.
yeah, Party Boy, exactly. You be Party Boy.
That
You
bit
might
Party
have to
Boy,
take that blue
exactly.
pill a few more times before you can play that part. But
We're all gonna die.
anyway, so there's a lot going on, and I wanted you to be able to be like, you're going to meet new characters in these new series, but the Fallen Leaves book is actually called Ashes to Iron, and it's a ton of fun. It's about dwarves and orcs and stuff like that, so I think people are really going to dig that one. And eventually there will be crossovers for these different books with the Blue Label books and stuff like that. Like I said, because it's the same worlds that we're working in for each of these books. The If It Hops book is actually, the main character is a pig in the new one. And that'll be a red label book. It takes, I had somebody talk to me the other day about doing things with confidence. And when we started If It Hops, man, I was so nervous. I was so nervous. Because I knew that the whole anthropomorphic characters and stuff, doing nudity with them was going to be a wild experience. I didn't know how people would feel about it. Man, it was wild.
They loved it though.
It was wild.
But wild in a good way.
Yes, it was. It
Yeah,
was absolutely
it really
insane.
was.
I think when we released the first issue, I probably got 800 emails about the book.
Wow.
I knew it was a lot. I didn't realize it was like.
Yeah, it was a lot. Like, it was a lot. And then I had the nicest guys in the world, like the guys that I've known my whole life, reach out to me and go, "Hey, I didn't know I was a furry," and I'm like, "Hey, it's different, but it's cool that you think that." I'm about it.
If it makes you happy and it
that's
keeps you
your persona,
reading,
brother,
we're
come on
good.
out. Do your shit.
Get your tail out.
Hey man, those pillows. I'm not doing any right now because of the shit between America and China right this second. But it's they are a ton of fun. And sadly, that is the only product that we get overseas. So that is the one thing that we are missing out on. And Mr. Ralston has no idea.
It is too bad, but if that's the only thing that has a block to it, that
is it. That is
overall,
the only.
that's we can handle that.
Yeah. Well, we print the same place Coffin does. So, we're right here in the country. We don't all of our stuff comes from here. And to be fair, if I did penny panties, they'd be American made penny panties.
Sweet.
It's a weird thing to say. Penny panties. Try to say that fucking 10 times fast. But no, there's a lot going on, and I'm gonna have Mr. Ralston, do all kinds of fun stuff. I know that he's into it. Now we want to make sure that we can bolster the things that he's doing and bolster the advertising for the brand, and just get more information out to folks about the stuff that we're doing. Oh my gosh, I've put in for so much
I'm excited because, as you all know, I mean, I'm a little bit on the other side because I'm not a horror fan. I appreciate it and everything else, but horror is not my thing. But I think Nate said it to me. It's the shock horror. I have a hard time. There's certain specific genres that just really, I'm like, nope. But some of the old school can be really entertaining. and
For
it's fun.
sure.
It's it's not too much in my face, and I miss that. So bringing that back, I'm really excited. And working, being able to see more of Duke. Anybody who can put a little more tongue in cheek into that
Yeah.
and have the
Yeah.
fun back into it,
Yeah.
I am all for that. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of that and
Um,
getting into that and do that into the story and the fun of
Yeah.
it. And so I'm excited for that. So
Well, we're
I
excited
just wanted to
be
say,
able to bring people further into out of their shell almost. That's something I'm excited about because I've been doing it for a few years now, and it brings me no end to the joy that I get to tell a good story and people having fun with it. I don't know if you've seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil, but that's another one, Shawnee, you should check out and you'll
Oh,
enjoy.
yes.
Yeah.
Old
It's a
school.
fun.
It's super fun.
Mhm.
I didn't know.
that's the kind of thing I can handle, I can deal with, and I enjoy. So
Right.
that kind of
Well, you need to
I
check
don't
out.
I don't mind a little bit of the gore, a little bit of the scare and everything else. But the shock stuff, I'm like, no.
Oh no, this
I
is
can,
just
I
it's a
can-
bunch of rednecks fighting monsters.
Yeah,
It's super fun.
It's a
perfect.
blast.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is so fun. But I think that my goal is to move into, and the same thing with the storytelling with the labels for ethereal. There's always going to be those different types of books. Like Crimson Sails is like gender bent, like swashbuckler type of deal. And then like Ashes to Iron is very much a story of redemption. Just like the title sounds.
With fantasy characters.
Absolutely.
So
And
there you go.
then you've got, like I said, the kaiju book coming out is very, very tongue in cheek. If you're an ecchi fan or you're a into the hentai type of stuff, you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be a ton of fun. The very first issue,
Anime-esque kind of. that
yeah.
whole-
the very first issue, they're going to fight a giant slime kaiju.
Oh wow.
So it's going to be a ton of fun.
I read the script.
Mhm.
I'm intrigued.
So fun. And then the coolest thing about Ethereal's anime / manga / comic book types of things is we have legitimate mangakas that work on our books, which are Japanese comic book artists, and we absolutely love that. It's a lot of fun.
Cool.
Because they bring a style and an aesthetic that we don't have. So we love working with them. But like
That
I
goes
said,
to Duke's thing about marketing too. You
Yes,
have that versatility and that aesthetic. It's important.
Well, I
because that
mean,
goes
you've
with the
got-
marketing. Yep.
then you've got like not Fallen Leaves, but Frog Legs. Frog Legs starts shipping this month.
Mhm.
So
Yay.
that book is in this massive freight order we've got coming in. So and that's BGD5 or BGD4, Frog Legs, and a bunch of other stuff. But that book, I had never written a love story before, ever.
Mhm.
And so putting that book together was so much fun. Issue 2, the script is done, and Elberty is already working on it. So if
Yay.
that's anything to you guys, all these books are already in development, and it's gorgeous. Like Bladen is working with Elberty on that book right now, and it looks absolutely stunning. So you're going to get to see Celine, you'll get to see more Bastion, you'll get to hear more about the King of the Crawfish and all that jazz, and more mud bugs for sure.
And more man bun.
More man bun, more unnecessary hair flips.
Oh Lord.
They're going to
More
have.
Cajun spice.
Now, to be fair, that particular book is one that teeters real close on the red label, just so anybody's
Mhm.
wondering or anything. It teeters real close, and issue 2 is no exception. So, I don't ever suggest anybody giving ethereal books to anybody under 18, but yeah, especially that one. Stay away from
Especially that one.
Yeah,
don't
Even
especially that
the
one.
blue
Yeah.
label, like you said, the blue label still is for mature
It's
audiences.
still
It really
adult.
is.
You know what I mean?
Everything that you write. I mean, so yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything that I would.
There's nothing
like
wrong with that.
I'm proud of it.
I pretend to be an adult on occasion, so it works.
Right.
So.
Try
Even
to.
with like the Listener and Greed, I still am
Mhm.
not. I let my daughter read the Listener and Greed both.
Yeah.
She's 13. There's no nudity in either of those books.
Right.
And there's no
They
real.
do have mature themes.
Yeah, but it's just they're great books. But That being said, and this is the first time I'm bringing this up, as of the end of February, there will not be any listener books printed prior to issue 5. So you'll be able to get the trade paperback, and you'll be issue 5 is actually almost finished coloring now. There's a lot of stuff going on with the art team for that book and falling off and stuff. So issue 5 is almost done.
Yay.
So as soon as David is done with it, that'll probably see print either the end of next month or the beginning of the following. That book will start shipping out. But they're great books. They're a lot of fun. But we're moving into this space now where issues like issue 1 of a listener was like almost 4 years ago.
Yep.
And it's crazy.
It's a little mind blowing.
Yeah. So keeping up with that book, and I don't want to do reprints and stuff like that. So if you're interested in the listener issues 1 through 4, make sure you snag them off the website by the end of the month, because that'll be I'm taking them down at the end of February, and we're putting up all the new content at the end of February. So lots of beautiful new books, and you're not going to miss out on the story of the listener if you want to read it, because it'll be there. Same thing goes for Greed. Anything prior to the trade paperback will not be available at the end of February.
Okay.
So if you're interested in a particular cover, make sure you hop on there and get it now, because all the inventory I have for those books, I'm putting away. So there's probably 5 or 6 left of each cover, and after that, I'm not printing anymore. But
I might be messaging you.
Definitely. Well, and you had it in the listener, the last trade paperback Kickstarter we had, right? The catch up tier from 1 through 4. So
Yep.
If people don't get them this one, then it's gone. It's like the one you gave me, right? It wasn't even ethereal. That was that was Cowabunga Day. So you ain't never gonna find that one ever.
No, I don't even think I have any of those anymore. Like that was so everything issue 1, everything for issue 1 of the listener ends up being like a second printing after that point. So I mean, like I said, I've got a few of each left, but that's about it. Same thing with Greed. So everybody asks about the Fought covers. We love Fought. We miss him so much. I don't have any more. So if it comes up, I don't have any more of the Greed David Fought covers. But I do have a couple. I have his last cover. I have a couple of them, and they will be going out to friends and family. At least the last cover with us, and I don't know if he did another one after it. It was for Babes, Gore, and Dinosaurs. He called me from the hospital, and he was like, "Hey, man, I want to do a cover for that book." And I was like, "Man, you need to rest. That's what you need to do." And he sent me a cover, and that's
the one that's just the black and white or the line.
Yeah, I didn't color it. I didn't color it at all.
I didn't think so. Yep.
I refused to color it after we got it. I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna mess with it." You know what I mean? So
I was lucky enough. I grabbed one of those because
I did not color that at all. And then so when those come off, the newer issues will go on. And like I said, shit ton of books coming out. Fallen Leaves issue 2 digitals tomorrow. Crazy shit going on with the Duke. We're excited about that.
I am too.
We need to put a list together of who you guys would like to see within fucking reason. Within reason.
Christopher Lee's hard to get now.
Yeah.
Don't be like, hey, can you get Sigourney Weaver to show up in her underwear? Because that shit's not gonna happen.
No.
Speaking of Sigourney Weaver, we're gonna do a little bit of I'm gonna start sending the Duke trivia for the shows.
Okay.
And it's all going to be horror themed trivia. So what do you think between the three of you guys? was the most difficult film that she ever worked on?
Oh,
Ooh.
horror film or just
In general.
in general?
General.
Alien. Alien was definitely the hardest movie for her to do, just because of the sheer work in that time frame in 1979. Look what she had to do.
Is
You
that
know,
your
going-
final answer?
No, but it would be a tie between that or Gorillas in the Mist.
Okay, Shawnee, you got
I-
anything?
I honestly don't know. There's so many. She's done so many movies. I can't. It's hard to think about that. But I think Alien probably would be one of them. Yeah,
All
or,
right,
or
Duke?
maybe even Aliens as well. So
Maybe.
I am going to say Ghostbusters.
Right
that
on.
actually was in my brain and I wasn't sure.
Because-
It's like, yeah.
I would
can't-
go
I
ahead, Duke.
can't imagine working with Bill Murray and Dan
Oh my
Aykroyd, and I mean those guys are crazy.
Can you imagine how funny that set was?
I mean, it had to be just uproarious.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Dan Aykroyd's got that drinking show now
Mhm.
that he does, and it's just a bunch of old comedians drinking and shooting the shit.
Yes.
But so the answer is Alien, and I'm going to tell you why. It was nowhere near any of the cool stuff that Nate mentioned.
Uh-huh.
It was because she refused in the very end of the movie. There's a
She's
scene where she's wearing underwear. It wasn't
Mhm.
about going nude. It
Okay.
wasn't that. The director didn't ask her to. He asked her to shave her pubes, and she refused. So he asked her to wear different underwear. She refused. So he had to hire an artist to come in and work on her region for 3 weeks of filming. And they said they had to pay the artist almost as much as the actors to work on her space in
Oh my
space.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That
That's
is it is
crazy.
crazy.
Right out of the director's mouth. He said she was the hardest person he's ever worked with.
You know, and they said that during Ghostbusters too, right? I mean, there's a documentary about Ghostbusters of
Yeah.
her working with Rick Moranis and the tenacity between the two because of the scenes they did at the end of the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. So let's not expect to see Sigourney Weaver anytime soon.
No, I don't think so.
So but we can poke around. We'll start looking for the Scream Queens love to be interviewed.
Oh
and
yes.
most of them are super fucking cool, you know.
Yeah.
I do need to know. I need to ask all the Scream Queens that work for us, actually, because we have 2 of them, and I need to ask them why all the chicks fall while they're running away. You know, that's I just need to know. You know, like
Because they're not, you know why? Because they're not wearing high heels anymore, right?
That's it.
Like typically, that's what usually they're always wearing high heels. They take them off and then you can't walk anymore.
That's right.
oh man,
And they're tripping over their own
so-
feet as opposed to, the floorboards or the branches or whatever.
right, for sure. I get that. I mean, I have a hard time running when I'm not wearing high heels either. You know what I mean? So I understand.
That is a sight. We got to do that now.
I don't know that that's going to happen, but
One of my favorite scenes from a movie is it's Tombs of the Blind Dead, and this chick goes into this haunt. It's a Spanish film, and she jumps off of a train and goes to this old monastery that's been abandoned for 400 years that nobody in their right mind would sleep at,
right.
and gets attacked by mummified Knights Templars. And
Oh my
she
God.
runs away, and they catch her and, kill her.
Mhm.
And her boyfriend comes looking for her because her and her boyfriend had gotten in a fight on the train.
Okay.
Of course,
okay.
like you do.
And he realizes she's been there when he finds one of her red high heel shoes.
Oh God. That's almost as good as a particular porn star shooting pool balls out of her hoo-ha at a zombie.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
Yep.
about.
You know that scene, Nate? That was a good scene.
I do know. I know that scene.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Yep.
Anyway,
The sad thing
things-
is I don't even have to know the movie to visualize that scene. That's just
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it was like zombies that were like fighting over territory, Shawnee. It was
It,
so funny. Like, and you know what's great about that film is like there's so many people in it. Like there were so many people in it. Like you had cameos from like every horror movie icon, with the exception of what's his face that plays the Candyman was not in it. But most of the
Todd. Tony
Oh
Todd.
yeah. Most of them were in it though. You know what I mean? So anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I know you're excited to see what the Duke is bringing to the table. I'm fucking excited. So
I'm damn excited.
oh man, it's gonna be so
I'm
fun.
excited to be here.
Man, oh man. So we're gonna work out a schedule with him, see what he wants to do when he wants to start the shenanigans, and then we're going to figure out what he needs from us to make his endeavor fruitful and exciting. So that, and I'm gonna worry about writing something with some chicks top off here in a minute. So we'll see how that
Woo!
exactly. You know, those slime monsters, man, they burn right through stuff. I'm telling you.
That's right.
So can you, but see, I'm so excited about that book. No bullshit. Like, I'm so excited about it. Because, like, you know, the Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who didn't, you know, like, imagine, you know, what was going on with that region? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
You know, it's funny. Charles Band actually went there with his other movie he did. So
yeah.
you might want to watch that one.
I need to check out a few. I got a few on my list that I need to pick up and check out because but I think it's going to be a ton of fun. I think introducing you guys to these 5 new chicks is going to be great. And then we're going to, you know, so I've got you here and you both have read the script for that fucking book. What did you think, Shawnee? Where'd your mind go when you know,
into the gutter?
yes, ma'am.
I'll just be honest. It's the minute the some of the slime scenes, and they did I mean, some great action. I think the action scenes are going to be really good, but the way they ended up, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is trouble.
Yeah.
I just want to throw this out here. I think Tennessee, you're talking about the Kaiju book, right?
Yeah.
I think Tennessee should have its own Kaiju.
Oh yeah.
And I think it should be a giant possum.
Exactly.
That would work. That
or
would be appropriate.
Raccoon.
Yeah, but you know those possums have all those like needle-like teeth, and they
oh my gosh!
I can just see a giant possum descending on Nashville.
I'm trying so hard to keep this book sexy and less trash diving, but you know, if anything gets into
that has merit.
It has merit.
Yeah.
But so Nate, what did you think?
I enjoyed it. I mean, the hard part was like just visually trying to put it together, right? Like, like I was like, how are we going to show this? You know, especially in the beginning, right? She was all pissed off, like because they were all fighting, right? And then they wanted, and then oh crap, the alarm goes off, and like we got to stop. We got to go do this. I'm like, man, I want to see what that Kaiju looks like, right? Because that's the thing. There's not a whole lot of detail about the actual Kaiju. Right. And that's what got me. I'm like, I want to see what it looks like now.
It's a giant green fucking blob.
I know, but I want to see it.
Well, yeah. I mean, we all want to see it. But then it's got its own little, like, people it makes. So...
I like the development of I saw the personalities really well come through of the different characters, and that was fun.
Appreciate that.
I think it was
I think they're a ton of fun to write. I've never written it with the stutter before. That was interesting, but I don't know if I know you guys probably paid attention to it, but I normally don't do dialogue before I have pages done.
Yeah, I was surprised at that. It worked well, but I was a little surprised. I think so.
And
I was surprised.
That's what threw me off, actually, trying to read it with the dialogue already in it, because I'm used to your style, right? Like reading scripts every month. That's what I do. But it's like, okay, they're saying this or going through this. Okay, you see where all the little things are coming out, you know, and it's like, okay, what are they going to do next? Like, where are they going? What's going to happen? It's like, damn it, I want to know. And then you end it on a cliffhanger again.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the fun part. You know, that last page is always so fun for me because it's all, now I'm just like, now I've got this weird tentacle thing that's just sitting there waiting.
Hanging out.
Yep. to see what occurs. So,
Mm.
you know,
I to Nate's point, I think it was interesting too because, like we said, we're a little more used to I usually will sometimes can kind of, I don't want to say skim, but I read
Yeah.
through and it's like I get the visuals in my head because I'm like running through the descriptions, kind of going
Right.
through and through. This one was different because I still got a little bit of that, but it was like I read the dialogue and I found myself, I'd read a bit of a scene, then I'd have to stop, then I'd get the visual, and then I'd sit there for a minute playing it out in my head.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then okay, read the next section, play it out in my head. So
I'm excited
it was
that you
a
guys
different
are-
experience for that. So
See, at the end, all I wanted to see the last line to say is, "I whipped it out." That's what I felt like.
all we need is a blazing sun. Let me whip this out.
Just,
Whip
Excuse
exactly.
me while I whip this.
oh my gosh! Speaking of whipping things out, you guys are getting a bit of Ricky in the next BBD issue.
Uh-oh.
At least that's what I hear or have seen in that cover that Bladen pulled out for this next issue. You guys are going to get to see all kinds of Red Rocket action. So
Mhm.
It's been a while. He hasn't done that in a while.
Yep.
it's been a while. Yeah, the last one that he did like that was the first Fallen Leaves issue where he did the chair,
Mm-hmm.
and the chair was shaped like a penis.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we haven't seen a lot of that lately. But to be fair, I've had him running pretty ragged. So, but you know, hey man, when you got that position, that's big work.
That's
So-
a lot to do.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging with us as usual. Nate, Shawnee,
Thank
it's
you.
always such a pleasure. Duke, my friend, I have all kinds of intel I'm sending your way in the next couple of days.
Excellent.
To that.
So,
And we'll get our first show scheduled.
Uh-huh.
I'll see who I can't get to come hang out,
Okay.
and I'm actually going to shoot you a movie. I'm sure you've seen it,
Mhm.
so we'll use those to segue into shows and stuff like that. So
Okay.
lots of fun stuff going on. I cannot wait. I'm overly excited.
I am too.
And thanks again, guys, for chilling with us and shooting the shit. If you haven't, make sure you go check out the campaign that's live right now. Morgana Le Fay. Oh, good shit. Make sure you check it out. I actually may have you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you guys something cool. We're not on Twitch right now, so they can't fucking kick me off. Actually, I don't have it saved on here. Never mind.
And before we go, Duke,
Oh,
it was
come on.
amazing to meet you. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of you. So
I'm looking forward to seeing more of you too. It's great to meet you guys. Yeah.
All right,
Nice
we're
to
gonna
meet
throw
you,
it up
dude.
here. We're gonna throw it up here real quick so everybody can check it out for 5 seconds before they threaten to
oh yeah,
Wow.
me off.
there it is. Yep.
There it is.
Okay.
go out with a
Fucking
bang.
thickness of my arm.
Well, there it is.
He whipped it out.
I mean, like it may actually be like the thickness of my arm, about as veiny as my arm is.
He is a dinosaur.
Yep. This is it.
You know, everybody asked. They were like, "What is that picture of the girl from Tammy and the T-Rex?" When I shared that
Mhm.
Yeah.
picture, they were all like, "What is some kind of weird fucking porn?" And I was like, "That's like an actual movie," and it was a decent fucking movie.
I like the T-Rex.
You know, he killed enough people in fucking fantastic fashion in that movie. Johnny, have you seen Tammy and the T-Rex?
I have not. I'm going to have to go see now.
You have
because
to
it looked
watch. It's
entertaining, so,
funny.
yeah.
You cannot miss out. That is Paul Walker's best movie. Tammy and the
is.
T-Rex. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Anyway, thanks so much, guys. We appreciate
Thank
you, and we'll hang out with you guys
Night.
shortly. Have a good
All right,
night, everyone.
Night.